How's it going, everybody? Robert here today, and we are back with our Honolulu Hammerheads franchise mode. And today, guys, we are in the playoffs of Season 5, round number 1, up against the St. Louis Blues. And yes, we absolutely went big at the deadline, and I am expecting nothing less than a Stanley Cup Finals appearance. So we went out and traded for Nikolai Ehlers, who has been very good. I know the -5 looks bad, but he's been very good since we brought him in. 19 games, 5 goals, 17 points, and a +12. I mean, +12 in 19 games is very, very good. And then we have a new second-line center. Sidney Crosby is here. He's dropped off just a bit, but 21 points in 19 games with 9 goals as well, and a +7 is exactly why you bring in a guy like Sidney Crosby. And the thing is, he's an 83. But if you want to look why he's an 83, look no further than his physical category and the fact that he's a little bit slower. I know it's right there. Yeah, I'm in the way. I get it. I'm in the way. You guys can't exactly see his, but it's 3 stars. Just look at the stars right there. Just look. There you go. But you can look at his passing, his offensive awareness, his defensive category is still great. He can win a ton of faceoffs. Really good at stick checking, defensive awareness, and still has a really good shot. 91 for his shooting, which is why he probably potted 9 goals. Basically, a goal every other game. That's a 40-goal pace since he's been on the Honolulu Hammerheads. But he's going to be playing between Byfield and Bullerice, and then we've got Granlund, Radulov, and Cousins. So our center core is absolutely insane. And if we need to, we could always move Radulov up and Crosby down, but I don't see us needing to do that. Gurianov did turn it around at the end of the season, but I think he will be on his way out because he is expiring, and I don't think I want to pay him the money that he's going to want simply because of our cap situation. Then the defensive core, Jake Bean was another guy we went for at the beginning of the season, guys. It's been quite a fun season here. The defensive core doesn't look as good as it potentially could. Maybe this was an area I overlooked, the Risto trade, or I believe there were other guys was it Dougie Hamilton or was it John Klingberg? Guys like that. I forgot. I know Torrey Krug was available. I'm almost positive Torrey Krug was available, but I know Ristolainen was a guy I could have gone after, and I was like, no, we don't need defensive help. We might have needed defensive help. Taking a look at it here, we have 4 guys. 4 of our guys are 82 or lower, which is not exactly great. We don't have anybody in the 90s, and our second highest guy is an 84. And speaking of 84, Jacob Markstrom here, who had a decent season. Not a great season, but he had a decent one here. I am hoping that our goaltender of the future here is Brennan Chipchura, a guy that could potentially step in this playoffs and be something for us. Now, I hope I don't have to turn to that. I hope Markstrom actually gives us one more good performance as he is on his way out after this season. But Chipchura could get broken into the playoffs pretty early here. We obviously have guys like Devin Tays who vetoed his trade, apparently. Apparently, I gave him a no-trade clause, and he didn't want to go. But anyway, we are here in the playoffs. Let's check out St. Louis and what their team did this season. So, St. Louis is in the Central Division, and St. Louis had... Let's just go to the Western Conference here. So, we're at the top here with 3.8 goals for per game. They had 2.8 per game. So they are a very defensive team. Guys, if the simulation tells us anything, this should not be too worrying of a series. They have got a 2.82 and a 2.89. They actually got outscored per game, and we're the 6th best team in the West. That shows you how weak the West was this season, or just how lucky, I guess, St. Louis was to even be here. But yeah, same thing with the Vegas Golden Knights, 2.794, but 2.88 against. They're winning tight games, and that's one of the things we got to worry about. I mean, we score a ton, though, so if we can just rely on our offense, and our defense is not too shabby. Anyway, taking a look at their power play percentage, it's okay. I mean, it's not great. 20% is what I would consider good. They're almost there, but we're at 30.7%. Their penalty kill is good, though, which leads to them being a defensive team. That kind of makes sense with the way the sim works and everything like that. So let's go ahead and check out what their lines look like now that we looked at how they played. They have Shen, O'Reilly, Tarasenko, Kyle Oposo, Robert Thomas, and Klim Kostin. Kyle Oposo, how are you doing? 36 points, but a -21. Jesus, that is horrible. So this is not a good second line. This doesn't appear to be a very fantastic second line, and I think our second line with Sidney Crosby could feast. This first line, though, were okay. They didn't score a ton, or at least Shen didn't. No, they didn't have anybody over 70 points, and they were not very good or well-rounded. It's Sidney Crosby versus Evgeny Malkin in the playoffs. Things you love to see. Nyquist, Malkin, Hartman, Anisimov, Sundqvist, and Noel. Then defensively, they have Lindgren, Falk, Mata, Brody, Mickelrath, and Gregory Roy. They've got some potential here, but right now we definitely have the better team without a doubt. And Binnington's only slightly better than Markstrom. So right now I think this is our series to lose. I really do think that we should come out on top in this one. I'm not going to push the panic button, but I'm also not going to just let it slip away because I'm overconfident. So let's go ahead and get into game number 1 here and see if the defensive side of things comes to play or if our offense shows up in a big way. First period. All right, defensively, Vladimir Tarasenko scoring on the power play. So I kind of brushed off their power play, but it did just get them the first goal of the series. Second period. All right, so it's 2-2. Tarasenko scores again, but Rice and Byfield, that second line, guys, that's what I'm talking about. That second line is coming to play. They're not getting a ton of shots either, and they really don't score too many goals in this. So if we can get a third goal here, I'll feel very, very confident. But halfway through the period, nobody is yet to break the deadlock. Scratch that. Sergei Kolesnik is going to score on the power play, get us a 3-2 lead, and I feel very confident as Sergei Kolesnik gets another one. It is 4-2. The first line comes to play. Evgeny Malkin, though, keeps the Blues' hopes alive, but not enough left in the period. A 4-3 win there, and that's the kind of game that I think bodes well for us. A game that has a lot of goals. The Radulovs, Cousins, the third line, actually, I'm surprised that that third line was a minus, too. Face-offs, how I just want to look at the face-off. I just want to see Sidney Crosby, lots of face-offs wins. You love to see that. But that's going to help us get possession and a good series opener for us there. A 4-3 win, very solid. It's not as crazy or wacky as sometimes you might see like a 7-1 or an 8-2 first game or something ridiculous. So that one felt pretty good. A 4-3 win. I like the fact that we're scoring about 4 goals per game over our last week or so. Hot team going into the playoffs bodes very, very well. As long as we can stay hot, that's what matters. And I wouldn't mind seeing the defense keep St. Louis to less than 3. I'd like 2 goals is fine. 3 goals is okay. I'd like us to score 4. I think 4-3 is something that I could bank on every game. But first period, St. Louis opens it up again with their first line, and this time Ryan O'Reilly at even strength is going to score on Markstrom. It's 1-0 to St. Louis. Second period. Okay, so we did take the lead after Jake Bean and then Dylan Cousins on the power play, but St. Louis tied it with Klim Kostin, and Robert Thomas is going to get St. Louis a 3-2 lead. Now, I think we can still score 2 goals. I think that we can keep St. Louis off the board. Can't give them power plays, though. Take the power play opportunity when you get it. We can't. And over halfway through the period here with 5 minutes to go, it's still a 3-2 lead for St. Louis as nobody's broken the deadlock. Nobody's scored in this third period. Oli Mata's going to score the empty netter in a 4-2 lead, or 4-2 win, excuse me, for the St. Louis Blues. Oh my God, Sergachev, that first line got destroyed. You know what? I'm going to move Jake Bean up. I'm going to move Jake Bean up. I know it's not a defensive move per se, but the fact that Bean is the better overall, that's what you look for. Plus, I get a +5, even though chemistry, I feel like chemistry doesn't even matter in the playoffs. It doesn't take it into account if you're going to sim the way I sim. If you sim via the calendar, it takes chemistry heavily into account. If you're going to sim by clicking through the periods, it does not take chemistry into account very much, if at all. So let's go ahead here. Simulate game number 3. Series is tied 1-1. Can we take the series lead back on the road in St. Louis? First period. It's 3-0. Radulov, Bear on the second pairing, and then Granlund. So the third line, big time, showing up. Second period. 5-1 now is Granlund, and then Sergachev score. Vladimir Tarasenko gets a power play goal, but I really don't fear the St. Louis Blues offense as Rice scores from center ice. 6-1. Power play opportunity. Are we going to get another one? We do not. They get a power play opportunity and score on it. Tarasenko has been a man on a mission, but really, I think that's all they have. Lavoie is going to score. It's 7-2. This one came in the zone. Radulov gets another goal. It's 8-2, and the offense explodes today to get us a 2-1 series lead. Now, let's keep some of this offense alive for the next couple games. I've seen way too many times you put up 8 goals one game. Jesus. Nobody was a minus, which is great to see. +5 for Jake Bean. So Jake Bean on that top line is a really, really good move. I think Sergachev is great. I mean, he's an excellent two-way forward, but we need points and we need goals, and that's what Jake Bean can provide, especially with just how much offensive firepower we have. We have a defender like Jake Bean who's really good at transitioning into offense and getting points. It's going to be tough to slow us down. Anyway, can't put the cart in front of the horse. Let's go ahead and get into game number 4 and see if we can take a 3-1 series lead extend our series lead, or will St. Louis bounce back with a win after getting shellacked in game number 3? First period, it's 2-1, so TJ Brody opens the scoring with Sergachev, and there's Crosby's first playoff goal as a Honolulu Hammerhead. 2-1, and you can see our top 6 is starting to come alive now that Jake Bean is on that first line. Second period, more offense. Taylor Hall on the first line. Sidney Crosby gets another one. Ryan Hartman does keep the lead manageable. The deficit manageable, I should say. 2-goal deficit is not insurmountable for St. Louis, but their offense does not have a lot of firepower, unlike ours, where Hall and Kaliznik are purebred snipers. St. Louis with the power play can't score on it. Vladimir Tarasenko can't keep his power play merchant status going. There is Evgeny Malkin scoring, seeing Crosby getting 2. Can Crosby get the hat trick? He can! Oh, he answers the call from Evgeny Malkin and gets the hat trick. A Sidney Crosby hat trick in game number 4 gives us a 3-1 series lead. Sidney Crosby with 5 points. Sidney Crosby with 3 goals, 2 assists, and it's great to see guys like Sergachev being such a big plus. Boulerice with 4 assists. You love to see it. Crosby, 55% on the faceoff. Again, that's fantastic to see there as well. Sidney Crosby now leads the team in points as we put up 15 goals in St. Louis, where they only put up 5. On the road, we just shellacked them in front of their hometown fans, and hopefully that gets their heads to drop and they start doubting themselves here as we have a potential elimination game here against the Blues on home ice. Back to Hawaii, back to Honolulu. First period. Oh, it's 2-1. Malkin scoring 2 power play goals. Who took the penalties? Bear got a shorty, but Malkin scored twice. Who took the penalties? Donskoy and Granlund. They both took boarding and tripping minors. So not exactly what you want to see, but that's the only time St. Louis has been scoring really is on the power play, and they're going to have to score at some point, right? So I don't really fault the penalty kill at all, but anyway, second period. Holy smokes, boys. Ehlers finally chips in with some contribution of his own. Taylor Hall on the power play, Gurianov and Granlund. So Granlund does make up for it for sure. It is a 6-2. Game 5 elimination is on the line for St. Louis. Do they have any kind of fight left in them, or did that second period just crush the will of the St. Louis Blues and their fans? Hopefully, we can walk out of this one with a very, very solid back-to-back-to-back wins, and the scoreline is going to look very sexy now that it's 7-2, thanks to Lavoie. It is over. We're into round 2. I was probably as calm as I've ever been in a playoff series, guys. This went so freaking well. Moving Jake Bean up unlocked our offense. I mean, absolutely unlocked the offense. It was, it was going well, but Jake Bean is like adding that little bit of oil to it, and then boom, it's just zooming. It's soared, it's taken off, added some nitrous oxide to it, hit the turbo button, fast and furious, baby. 8-7-7. We just scored 22 goals in 3 games. 22 goals in 3 games, and if you can find a team that can match that in the first round, please let me know, because we certainly didn't find it, St. Louis. See ya next year, bud. We are through to the second round, and it looks like, we got some tight playoff series, except for the Avs, of course. They are the only team to sweep in the West. In the East, Toronto sweeps Boston. They finally get the monkey off the back. I don't know if this happened before in this world, but it's certainly dead. The meme is dead. And the Rangers get a gentleman's swept by the Tampa Bay Lightning. Let's go ahead and simulate a couple days here and see just what the rest of the league decides to do. The Vegas Golden Knights win and advance their series lead. So do the Devils. And the Devils have taken a 3-2 series lead. So both 2-2 series are now 3-2. Okay, we got another game here. The Arizona Coyotes move on, and the Columbus Blue Jackets move on. So the only teams we're waiting on are Vegas and the Devils to see if they close out their series here. They do close out their series. It is Vegas. Vegas is the next opponent for us. Expansion rivalry in round 2. Hope you're ready for it, because I certainly am. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see some more, and I will see you guys in the next one.